Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a new vid from Loxton and Noggin, a Regi of every type. As we know, Pika Magic already did a video like this before, but let's see what difference these guys could make. I was about to say this guys, that does not make sense. Let's go. Ooh, Central Canto.
Warning, infinity energy surge erupting into the upper stratosphere from central Kalos.
I see.
Whoa.
So the madman finally did it. Fired off the new ultimate weapon.
What is this?
It will be alright, precious. I was worried I would not be able to stop him in time, so we had a backup plan.
Whoa.
The legendary titans will at least defend the greater Kanto area. We'll need that safe at least.
What is this?
It has begun. Have you found the final titan?
Indeed we have, boss. We should be finished digging it up soon.
Excellent.
Holy
There isn't much
shit.
time. A few days at most, so hurry on. Yes, precious. Let's take a look at them all now, shall we?
Okay! I'm intrigued.
First, hello. This video is brought to you by us and Snugui, our latest Lockemon plushie release. Coming from
You want to see what he's talking about? You'll have to click the link in the description below. Remember, click the link in this description to go to this video to get the link in that description.
What if there was a Regi of every type? I see this idea done by fan artists all the time, and they always throw in some really cool ideas, and I wanted to go at coming up with a few as well. I can't draw though, so I commissioned artist Nani to bring our ideas to life. A Regi of every type, from regions all over the world, brought together by a mysterious figure to defend his home region from a world-ending calamity. Sounds fun.
I'm intrigued.
So, the Regis, officially known as the legendary titans, are all golems, living elementals, and they appear almost alien-like, Regi Steel especially. Their light-up eyes flash when they speak like robots, and yet all studies show that they are what they are, fully. Regirock can even lose its rocks and just pick up new ones to make more of its body. Each of the legendary titans were also formed by Regigeist, and they terrified the ancient people, who decided to hide them away deep in caves. And originally, I never knew why Regigeist stopped at just the original 3, but thanks to Sword and Shield DLC, we know it did continue with Regieleki and Regidrago. And why stop there? Let's say that while Regigeist was at full power and helping pull continents together, it occasionally would form a new Regi in order to help it out. One of every type, in fact. And the first one it made was created to help it save the precious sea life along the coasts while it moved the continents around them. This is Regi Reef, a sentient water golem that carries around chunks of coral that it finds aesthetically pleasing, while also giving it some physical rigidity when it's up on land. It can shoot highly pressurized beams of water from its hands, similarly to Blastoise cannons, and it does this so carefully that it breaks off hunks of reef for easier transport while doing minimal damage. It has the Rain Dish ability, which allows it to heal when it's raining, and it learns a new move, Aqua Punch. A typical punching attack, but it's water type, and has a low chance of causing it to rain.
Which feeds into the rain dish.
I wanted to make sure it has this chunk of reef in the middle as a nod to the Cyclops, as it was Poseidon himself, the Greek god of the sea, who created the Cyclops. Plus, that's also where the myth of Atlantis comes from, so heck, maybe Regi Reef once sunk an ancient city on accident.
I can see that.
We also wanted it to have two distinct pillars on its shoulders too, sort of reminiscent of Greek pillars, except they're made of coral. And its hands sure do look like weird blobby sea creatures, don't they? Another one Regigeist made really early is simply named Regi Wind, who similarly pulls inspiration from the Greeks. Nepheli was a goddess made of clouds, and on her own time she created centaurs, capable of running like the wind. And there's also, of course, the Pegasus, flying horses with wings. Hence these cloudy-looking wings. Regi Wind flies across the sky at incredible speeds, scouting the area from above to relay information back to Zeus. I mean Regigeist, and its face resembles both the feathering, love that name, on the back of horse hooves, as well as the Greek winged sandals representing speed, and Hermes, the god of messages. Its head both resembles the man-made Trojan horse, as well as these way cool cool-looking helmets from the time. Look at that, it's
not a bad
We wanted to
idea.
make sure the Regis we introduced had a variety of body types, so at least one of them needed to be a quadruped, and one with many horse inspirations makes sense to be the one. It has the clear body ability, and learns plenty of moves that benefit from its high speed and special attack stats.
Nice.
Out of all of the Regis, this one was one of the hardest for the ancient people to capture and trap. Only after tricking it with promises of riches and a statue built to look like itself did it descend into a trap. Almost like the Trojan horse in a way. Regi Fire was the third Regi made by Regigeist. And
okay, now hold on. Here's a question for you. Which Regi is the actual Regi? Like, which of these cores? Is it the fire on the inside, or is it the wheel on the outside? Which of them is the real Regi Pile? Ooh.
Is just as fast as Regi Wind. It spins its outer shell at a high velocity to careen through and around mountains.
So the fire on the inside,
wheel on the side of a hot rod,
Regi.
And its two firearms even resemble the flames coming out of those dumb tall exhaust pipes on them. It's so dumb. So cool. But it also resembles the Greek Wheel of Fire torture device, as well as the biblical Ophanim, a class of angel said to be made from a brazen ring binding down a flame with a will of its own. Here, we quite literally have a sentient flame golem bound by its wheelie ring. This high-speed physical attacker runs over all those who stand in its way and circles around mountains, carving them out for Regigeist to move later. Its signature move, Run Over, is a fire-type move that does more damage based on the difference of it and its target's speed stats. So you better watch out, Chuckle! Your time is over! One weakness it does have, though, it's unable to back up. The wheel only spins in the direction its eyes point. It wasn't always like this, though. It was a punishment from Regigeist for going overboard with the fiery destruction, which again brings up the Greek Wheel of Fire that was used to punish Ixion in Greek mythology. But enough about Greek mythology. Let's move to another part of the world. How about Asia? This is Regigeist. A bundle of lost souls given physical form, sealed into this teardrop-shaped urn. Its inner core undulates like a lava lamp filled with ectoplasm, and along with being able to float, its limbs are able to pass through solid objects. And its eye pattern resembles the direction it wishes to go, up and onwards towards the heavens, but alas, it cannot
to the holy cradle above, or holy cradle.
It combines both Chinese and Egyptian ideas about the dead. Cultures all over the world wrap their dead in cloth, of course, but Egyptian mummies are among the most famous, and its eye pattern also resembles a pyramid. A bit. But also, the initial concept with this Regi is that it is an ushtabi, small figurines made of things as simple as clay to as extravagant as jade and gemstones. These would be buried with the dead to work as servants for them in the afterlife, doing all of the physical labor that the afterlife is known for. And this is very similar to the idea of golems as servants in the first place, so we had to reference it.
I mean, why not?
These ushtabi would often come in these cases, the lids of which we directly referenced by shaping Regigeist's hat in a similar way.
That hat, I honestly thought that was meant to be like a reference to the nail used in the move, Spite. Wait, is it called Spite? You know what I'm talking about.
But that hat also quite resembles your typical depiction of a hopping Chinese zombie, also known as the Jiangxi. They are zombie vampires and are traditionally dressed this way, in these same colors too. They move around by hopping with their arms outstretched, as does Regigeist.
And they're really easy to take down.
Like a spring. And like the flapping, flowing wrapping, Jiangxi are also depicted with these thin pieces of paper placed on their heads. It's a spell tag. It's supposed to stop them. It often doesn't work, but that's actually an item in Pokémon already, the spell tag. And Regigeist's ability, Spell Tagged, boosts the power of ghost-type moves. And it also learns plenty of absorbing moves, bringing in the Chinese vampire zombie aspect in further.
Oh, we got an ad coming up. Hold on, folks. We're back. Oh, I guess the video's not back yet. Hold on. Now we are really back.
Old-timey China did a lot for the world, like the silk trade. They, along with India and Persia, were big into silk and other fabrics. Textile trading was abundant across the properly named Silk Road. And isn't cloth like a man-made thing that would be super cool to make a golem out of? I think so. So this is Regi Chi, our fighting type legendary titan. The fibers of its fabric working like muscle fibers, charged with chi energy. It's able to fire off energy blasts and aura spheres of pure fighting spirit with ease. It fights with a few different styles, like the softer wushu styles, like Tai Chi, with its wide sleeves and smooth flowing motions, done mainly to counterattack and knock down. And this whole thing could also be a reference to the Iton Moment, a yokai made of living cloth that strangles and grapples after knocking you down. And there's also several fantasy cloth fu magic scarf styles of fighting. Speaking of, it has a magic scarf of its own. Chinese gods and goddesses are often depicted with rhymes, just like this. But of course, we can't ignore one of its more defined features, the turban. With its connections to Persia and India, it had to have one of the most defined pieces of cloth, especially due to the media trope of the Silk Road traveling merchant with a huge turban. Plus here, it also resembles large muscular pecs. It learns a wide variety of wrap and punch moves, as well as several fighting-type moves like Aura Sphere, and its ability, Binder, makes move like Wrap and Bind more powerful, as if it were holding the Binding Band item. But there was an issue that Regigeist noticed after Regi Chi was made. Trees were getting knocked down left and right as it trained its moves on them.
Holy crap!
So it needed to make a training partner for Regi Chi. Which brings us to Regi Wood. Our grass-type Regi is a martial arts wooden training dummy, crafted out of hard woods and able to easily replace its wooden parts if they break by just pulling a tree out of the ground. Thankfully, you can make trees grow really fast too, so it's not like it's deforesting things. But yeah, it's a wooden training dummy, and many of these dummies do just stand there for you to practice your motions, but some of them counterattack by spinning parts of themselves, which is what Regi Wood is all about. Its body is segmented, and its arms are on extra rotating joints too, so it can spin and counter really well. In fact, its signature ability is just called Spin Counter. Or something. Not a huge fan of that name, honestly, but basically, any and all physical attacks that hit it will cause it to deal a quarter of the damage it received back to whomever hit it. It's like a constant free mini counter. And just like Wobbuffet, it learns all of the counter moves. And it's really, really slow.
So it would not be a good opponent
for Green Man, a being from old European legend that is
would not be a good opponent for Regi Wind then.
Basically, it's just a leafy face. And I could use this as a smooth transition to our Central and Northern European legendary titans, but I want to talk about the American ones next. Now, to clear things up before I even introduce it, the Cubone line and all bone-related moves in Pokémon are ground type, because dust to dust and all that, and you bury bones in dirt. And so now that that is clear, this is Regi Dust, a bone golem held together with clay mud. It's easy to look at cultures such as the Aztec and say, skulls and bones, sacrifices, death.
I don't believe in magic, but I do believe in bones.
And so, that's what we did here. But plus, I mean, they used a combination of skulls and clay to build walls. Bones were pretty important to them. Its skull-shaped body is elongated to resemble various depictions of gods from the area, but also many proto-Aztec/Inca/Maya peoples would elongate their skulls as a status symbol, and the markings on its skull and leg resemble both the differing layers of earth that you can see on cliff sides, as well as the famous Nazca lines dug into the ground in Peru. This one in particular, because it's my favorite. Regi Dust has a secret though. The bones are just a suit, a mask made of bones, like the Aztec masks made of human skulls. The true body of Regi Dust is just the dirt, dust, mud, and clay underneath, and thus it feels like it needs the extra hardness and protection of the bones in order to compare to its more hard brethren, and sometimes it can be seen sucking up dirt and dust through its teeth like a vacuum, gathering more material to repair both its body and its armor. Its signature move is Bone Crush, essentially just a much more powerful bone club, but it also inflicts a bit of damage on itself, both because bones are a tad fragile, and also to further get into the sacrifice aspects. But while Regi Dust is always harming itself and having to repair that later, Regi Hive is all about healing itself. South America, of course, has a plethora of bee and ant colonies, but also Texas is apparently the killer bee capital.
Look, it actually even has like red bees, Regi bees. That's actually really cute. I like this one a lot.
Of the world, and Utah is known as the Beehive State due to their abundance there. So here, it's Regi Hive. Regi Hive is made of wax internally and has a very hard, almost steel-like exoskeleton. These bumps on its chest are able to sink in and become doorways for its 6 smaller drones to deliver supplies for bodily repair, which it is constantly doing. Its signature ability is Resupply, which allows it to heal a little bit every turn, no matter what. And it of course learns all of the attack and defend order moves that Vespiquen has. These drones around it act like its arms and hands, almost as if they were an extension of it rather than being separate beings.
And they kind of are an extension of it.
They're a big hive mind. Brain waves are constantly being sent to and from them and the antennas back on the main body. Almost like it's psychic, which is the transition to our psychic type legendary titan. How the heck do you do a golem made of psychic energy? So far, all of our new Regis are based on man-made or Greek god-made things. Or bee-made in Regi Hive's case.
Hold on, we got an ad coming up. And we're back.
Well, after some extensive research, I learned about tulpas. And so, this is Regi Mind. It's your classic brain in a jar, yes, but one that is self-manifested from a dream once had by Regigeist. A tulpa is, in a way, an imaginary friend with sentience.
Amazing.
A golem of the mind brought to life through one's own psychic, spiritual, or mental powers. Though the concept may have originally been Tibetan, it was American spiritualist, this guy, who brought the concept to the West and popularized it. And I say popularized here loosely, because really it just spread throughout the small community of 20th century Western magic practitioners. Though it did stick around and grow just a bit, these days the concept is most popular with middle-class Euro-American adolescents and young adults, especially those with autism, ADD, and ADHD, as they make up a significant chunk of the Tulpamancer community. Regi Mind is unique in that its body is by far the most fragile of all the Regis, but its signature move is really stinking good. Imagnablast. It essentially works the same way as Metronome, choosing a random move and then doing that move. Only this time the pool of moves is limited only to moves that would be super effective against the target. Regi Mind scans and then reads the mind of its opponents to figure out what kind of thing would be the most effective on it, and then wills such attack into existence through its sheer psychic power and imagination. After all, it's almost just bending reality around itself akin to the unknown, and it's able to disguise itself excellently too by messing with the minds of those around it, and as such it has Zoroark's ability, Illusion, which makes it enter battle looking like a different Pokémon in your party. Only when the illusion is broken will its true form be visible. But as I said, this powerful movement ability is balanced out by this Pokemon's fragility. It is imagination personified, or Poke-sonified, and it is just a soft, squishy brain in a rigid and fragile glass jar. Oof. But it is not the only Regi in glass we came up with. Let's move back to the old world now. So one theory that people have with the legendary titans is that each one represents an age in history. The Ice Age, Stone Age, Iron Age, the Electric Modern Age? The Dragon Age? But anyway, we didn't worry too much about that when coming up with these designs. But these next two do happen to fit a bit. This is a Poke-sonification of the age of sickness that was the Black Death that plagued Europe in the Middle Ages. This is Regi Asthma.
Ooh, I was
finally a name
like
I have to explain. Miasma
it.
isn't a word everybody knows. Miasma is a vaporous exhalation formerly believed to cause disease. Basically, it's old speak for bad poisonous air that kills you. Miasma theory was used to explain the Black Death after the fact, and the word is originally Greek for pollution. In more modern media, it's used often in fantasy to mean a magical cloud of poison or corruption. Plus, it just sounds toxic, like you'll choke on it, like you have asthma. But anyway, Regi Asthma is a poisonous ooze in a sturdy glass flask. Its arms resemble bacteriophages or creeping veins or roots that the poison seeps through. And its main flask body resembles the bodies of various viruses. And the X its eye pattern makes resembles the skull and X bones or crossbones put onto bottles of poison, and the X eyes one gets when the poison's effect takes hold. Its ability is Miasmic Shock, which essentially gives all of its poison-type moves the Venoshock ability, which just means they all deal extra damage to its target if that target is already poisoned. And it's got a new move too, Miasma Field, which is essentially like Mist or a screen move. It creates a cloud of poison around your side of the battlefield, and if the opponent enters it, they get badly poisoned. This is a very decent defensive strategy for a Pokémon with poor physical defense. But of course, we can't talk about ages in Europe without talking about the Dark Ages. That one time in history that we tried letting Christianity rule the world for a few centuries. Please don't let that happen again. Vote, protest, we can't go back. There's a reason it's called the Dark Ages. It was a time of great poverty, great death, great despair, and almost no progress in terms of technology or philosophy for centuries. So what better to represent a dark-type legendary titan? This is Regi Grimm. The eyes resembling its despair, resembling both a big frown or the tears running down from its eyes.
It's amazing.
It is draped in old, rotting cloth, crudely
Hold on, folks. Don't worry about that. Let's finish this.
Stitched together to hide its ugly, diseased face like the peasants at the time. And even still, no one knows what its inner body is truly made of, but whatever it is,
it's like Mimikyu.
We do know it was created by Regigeist at a time of great human despair. Regigeist was hoping to take all of the human suffering away by forming it into a new being. A being made of pure essence.
It did not walk out.
And Regigeist had hoped that it would help the human woes at that by giving it hands resembling their medical equipment. Of course, that being medical equipment from the Dark Ages, so very, crude.
Yeah.
But alas,
very bad, very crude, very useless.
As the people were afraid of it and sealed it away. Its legs resemble roots or branches of dead trees in the Black Forest, or scarecrow scaffolding, which its cloth body also could somewhat resemble. Scarecrows and old dolls. That ruined cloth body can barely contain its darkness from emanating out and upwards in a cloud of melancholic grief, though, which has to do with its ability, apathy. Regi Grimm is immune to major or volatile status conditions like poison, burn, or paralyzed because it is just too apathetic towards the idea. It has no feelings about them one way or another, and so it can ignore those effects altogether. Its whole life is suffering. What is one extra bit of suffering? It's nothing.
Wow, that's dark.
The one and only thing Regi Grimm truly cares about is showing others how it feels through violence. How dark,
ooh, that is not good.
How grim. Which is what the dark type is all about. You could easily call it the grim type, and it'd mean the same thing almost. Anyway.
And we're back.
Anyway, onwards to the exact polar opposite, our final new legendary titan. The fairy type one. Perfect for the age of fairy tales, no? And if you thought I could go through a whole video about new Regis without making one joke Regi, you'd be wrong. This is Reginger! Yeah, it's a so gingerbread man, or a gingerbread golem, really. The smallest of the Regis, and one of the last titans that Regigeist made. It wasn't even trying to make one, it was just trying to bake cookies, and it forgot that fairy...
Okay, that's actually funny. Imagine just Regi trying to cook. Poof, crap, I've made a child. How does that happen?
Type suddenly existed. Its eye pattern is even almost the opposite of Regi Grimm.
Oh, damn it. It's gotta be back in a moment. Alright, we should be good to go now.
eye pattern is even almost the opposite of Regi Grimm. It's a big smile. Also, to keep up with its silly theme, it can't actually move its legs. They are a part of the main body. It can only use them to stand, not walk. It runs by using its big arms as legs.
He can handstand.
Its ability sticky body will cause any Pokemon that makes contact with it, from physically attacking or being attacked physically by it, to have its speed reduced one stage. They get covered in sticky blobby sugar goop. Plus, that goes along with its inspiration. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man from the fairy tale. Every time you try to catch Reginger, you get slower. And boy, is it mischievous, as any good fairy type should be. Throwing goop all over various hamlets and villages until the people got fed up with it and sealed it away. Which also made it the most difficult to dig up, as it thought it would be funny to continue resealing itself away in the cave as the guards tried to
damn it. Oh, we're here at the Calamity now. That's what it says. The Calamity. What's going on?
We're losing every connection. The damage is faster than I expected.
Whoa.
Boss, we got the Titans in place around the greater Kanto area, but it's not looking good. Even with the champions here, I don't think we can take all these rabid Pokemon at once.
What the hell?
Fear not. I'm sure once Red arrives, things will work out.
Red? As in Trainer Red?
He's got a kid to defend after all.
Holy shit. This is crazy. But that is what we're going to end off today's video. So, I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support the original creator in all they do. And I'll see all of you folks next time. Peace out.